my peoples. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of day it is. If y'all see me, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what day it is. I got that midweek medicine for you. That little dose. Just a FYI. Just from me to you, ground zero, my experience, just to help you guys out. Let's dive into it. Today, specifically, I want to talk to you guys about when what you're saying actually lines up with your beliefs. How you can literally set yourself up for some type of failure in your life. I'm going to use the example of your job because I've experienced this. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that is experiencing this situation. So what am I saying? This kind of falls in line with that whole, with people's natural abilities is flight or fight. Whether you choose to be mediocre and average throughout your days or you want something more for yourself and you're actually going to go get it. You at your job, and when you started this job, you loved it. Like, you appreciated it. You thank God for it. Like, you needed the money. You know, you were down and out, and then you finally landed this job. And outside looking in, yeah, I need this. This is what everything, the pay is good, the benefits is good, the work hours are good. I need this. This is what it's going to be. Some time has come since you have started this job, and now you're learning all the details, the intricate things that actually go into a day of doing that specific job that you're doing. So now things start frustrating you because the time that they told you would be working, now you're working more hours. So that means you're losing time with your family, which upsets you. You don't like dealing with some of the people that you're dealing with. You don't like dealing with some of the scenarios you're dealing with. You don't like how your job is handling certain procedures. You don't like some of the things that your job has in place. You don't like some of the new ideas that your job comes up with. Yes, there are the great aspects. You love payday. When holidays do come around, you love your holidays. You actually do have a few people at your job that you like. It is some customers that you got to deal with that you don't mind dealing with. They actually make your day. But overall, you don't like it. And now you start talking it all the time. Like, when you're not at work, you're talking about how you don't like it. When you're at work, you're talking about how you don't like it and what frustrates you and what angers you. You around other people that talk about it, and that's all y'all do. Back and forth, y'all just swap stories. Like my mother used to say, all that's doing is throwing salt onto the wound. Like, you already got the open cut, and you just making it worse. That's all you doing is making it worse, digging yourself deeper. You're literally talking yourself into a point where you cannot stand where you are. So much so that it's sickening to your stomach. My question to you is, what do you do about that? Do you stay? And why is it that you have stayed? Why? I'll tell you why. Because now you're talking about the whole fear factor, the fight or flight factor. You don't want to go through the hiring process again. You don't want to deal with that anymore. You don't want to, it's just aspects that you don't want to deal with of not having a job. Miss having the money. Real talk, you might be a dude and it might be a child support situation, so you can't go without. So it's a lot of different things that lock you into the position that you're in. Not only that, but you have locked yourself into this position because you can't stand where you are, but at the same time, you're talking yourself out of going anywhere else because of fear, because of what you think you won't be able to find, what you think you won't have. It's people that won't start their own businesses or make their own moves because of fear, because of being used to a system and they're flowing with that system. So once again, I say to you, what are you speaking about? How are you programming your mind to be in this average mindset, to be in a position that you can't stand, that you actually you probably could be making more money, but you're stuck here. Now, this is where the belief comes in. You have, well, like I said, you have thrown so much salt onto this wound. You have talked this thing up so much. You have linked up with all of the wrong people so much that now you actually start believing that. And I'm not just talking about a surface level. I'm talking about an unconscious level, because 95% of everything that we do and attract comes from the unconscious level, that level that we're not thinking about, but is programmed down into us, to feel, to move, and to think, and you without even knowing it. It's the unconscious level that attracts. So you have programmed yourself into a bad position. How do I know this? Because I've done this. All right, when I was working at Canada Dry, that's all that everybody did talk about, was how much they hated this job and they did not want to be there. And I, every now and then, I get sucked into that too, because I had something better to compare it to. And that's what a big problem is. You have something better to compare where you are. And if you don't have anything to compare to, you've just talked yourself so much into it and been around the wrong people so long that now, well, that's what you're living and that's what you're experiencing. So what do you do to combat this thing? I'm not going to lie to you, it ain't easy. You're going to have to deprogram and then reprogram. And to do that, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of listening to the right positive things, the right kind of music, putting yourself around the right people. Me personally, I stopped hanging around them negative Nancy's that all they did was complain about their job, but you ain't doing nothing about it. You ain't quitting. You ain't leaving. I finally positioned myself to leave that environment. And if that meant that I took a pay cut or I would have to struggle a little bit, that's what I would do. But in the long run, it benefited me so much more because of the less stress, and I could think better. It was awesome. You just got to make the move, but you got to start programming your mind. You got to put the right stuff in. You got to, you got to surround yourself by the right people. And it's hard. Trust me, when you have already created this type of thinking, it's very hard. But with work, it can be done. You just got to dedicate yourself to it. You got to, stop listening to the wrong kind of music and put some right music in there. I don't know, praise and worship, jazz, whatever, some positive stuff, classical. The YouTube videos you watching where you just watching movies and dumb stuff all the time, start putting some positive motivation and stuff into your system. All these things, start reading if you read. Some people don't read at all, but if you do read, start reading the right things. Put that junk down and read some stuff that's going to elevate you. This is what it's going to take. So at the end of the day, I ask you this question and I finish with this. What do you believe and how are you programming yourself? And in that programming, what do you have around you? Think about that. I get with y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.